Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Q&A show. My name is Bob Theriot, and I'm coming at you live here on Facebook. And I'm really, really excited tonight. I have a really close friend and special guest, and he's not on because he's just a friend. He's on because this guy, he knows his stuff when it comes to digital marketing. I'll get with him in a little while, but I want to do a little bit of reminders here. For anyone who is on live right now, if you could do me the favor and hashtag live, and if you can just hit that like button, smash that heart button. What it does, it tells people that we're on live. And also, if you could share it out. So if you know anyone, if you're in business, if you own a local business, if you manage a business, if you know anybody, a friend, a family member that's looking to grow their business with social media, digital marketing, then this is the show for them, okay? You need to share this with them because I'm telling you, you're going to get a lot of value out of what you're going to hear tonight from my good friend. And he'll even take your questions. Okay, guys. So if you guys are here and you have questions about how to grow your business, I don't care what type of business it is, between the both of us, we are going to figure it out for you and we'll be able to answer your question. Okay. So my friend is Ed Weeks. He's the founder of HV Social. In New York, Poughkeepsie, New York, and I probably said that wrong, and he's going to correct me right now. But he's a digital marketing expert, and he has worked with dozens, if not hundreds, of companies and brands over the years. And he's here tonight to share his wisdom with you. So again, like and share this. I'm going to bring him on. And ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome to you my good friend, Ed Weeks. Hey, Ed, what's up?
How are you, man?
Good. How you doing, bud?
Doing wonderful. Can I correct you right now? Poughkeepsie, man. Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie, New York. What did I ask you earlier? I said you were in Jersey.
Yeah, you always think I'm in Jersey, man. But that's over.
I don't know why, man, but thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Bob. Big fan of yours.
Oh, well, dude, I admire you, your work. You're awesome. You have a ton of clients. How long have you been in digital marketing?
I'm in my third full year of actually running my agency. It's interesting. I was thinking back in the early 2000s, I did some ClickBank things when Google was still really cheap. Right. It kind of spurred my really interest in this area. I know it was a long time ago, 17 years ago, but made some money with ClickBank back in the day. So Google just changed the platform and it got a little too expensive, but that's how I got started in this.
So what were you doing before you got into digital marketing? You were in sales, right?
I've been, since basically I got out of college way back, when, Moses was still walking around the earth. I got out of college and I've always been in sales one way, shape or another, from Wall Street to Main Street and a little in between, big pharma. Had a varying jobs in sales mostly.
And so what finally made you take that leap to say, you know what, I'm going to go out on my own. I'm going to start my own digital marketing agency. What was that push?
I just got to a point where I couldn't stand big pharma. I'm an MBA guy, so I have my MBA. I've just one day woke up and said, it's about time. I just followed a passion and I had full support of my wife. So that was the key. Happy wife, happy life. She gave me the full support and I went in head over heels into what I'm doing today.
And so the name of your company is Hudson, or it's HV Social, correct?
HV Social Media, yes.
But you don't do just social media. You do a wide variety of digital marketing, correct?
That is correct. It's interesting. I named it out of how I feel my area. HV is the Hudson Valley. It's basically the area between New York City and Albany in New York. And to me, it's how media should be done socially, right? So that's not really just social media, digital media, Google, SEO. I really focus on those platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Google, and then SEO. Those are the four things that I hone in on.
Right. And so, you come in contact with a lot of businesses. You've been in business for a while now. So what do you think are the biggest common mistakes you see local businesses making right now, especially when it comes to marketing?
Well, I think too many of them still over rely on traditional media. Here, I don't know. You're in Texas, right? I'm in New York. probably see the same things. There's still a lot of people relying on the radio. There's still a lot of people relying on TV. And then there's people who kind of dabble on the digital side, meaning, they create their Facebook pages, they throw some things out there. Today, they don't get any reach and they give up right away. Facebook doesn't work. Instagram doesn't work. Nobody follows me. So I just think people give up too soon.
And that's because they're really not getting results, right? And I'm going to say something here. So I think they don't put enough money behind what they're doing and the strategy's off. I mean, you can elaborate on that.
Well, I will. I love that. I mean, I think that's the point. I talk to clients all day about how irrelevant the daily posting can be. What's more important is the actual paid side. You're forcing your content into the feed. Now, you want to make sure you have good content. We both know, like this, video sells. So I have most of my clients do amazing videos, and then we promote the living hell out of them. And it's still one of the most cost-effective ways to get your messaging out there. The key is not just to rely on video views, but also to start looking at building up custom audiences and doing all the powerful things that Facebook can actually do in the background, so you can convert video views eventually into leads into customers. That's what it's all about. That's what I hone in on.
Yeah. So right there, you said custom audiences. You probably lost a lot of people, which that's okay. That's okay. But so let's take somebody through that's here, that's watching. And by the way, hi, Gus, I saw you post. He's an insurance agent. So for instance, let's take an insurance agent and they are not doing anything with video right now. What advice would you give an insurance agency, a local insurance agency? So we're not talking about the big guys. How do they approach making video? What type of video, and how do they put it out there?
First off, I think so many people get so crazy on trying to find an app or something, but you can do every video you need to ever do with, I have an iPhone, the X. I don't care if you have iPhone 7, 6, you can do a great job with a video right here. The only recommendation I would make is buy a $60 tripod that'll hold it in Best Buy or Amazon, wherever you can buy it. The key is really just be you. I mean, why would somebody want to do business with Gus, the local insurance agent? Tell your story. Be honed in on telling that story and continue to tell. You don't have to get it all out in one video. Just continue to tell your story, promote that, meaning if you're a local agent and you only work in a certain radius, promote that video on, or contact Bob and he can promote that video for you, and just get it out there, seen in the local market. I think people get so caught up in just the enormity of what is out there. So I make this correlation all the time. Radio was free, right? It was I could listen to it for free. I'm talking about terrestrial radio, not satellite. Terrestrial radio is free. But whenever you advertised on it, you went to an agency, right? The radio station, they created your ad and then they ran your ad. That's kind of how you should view Facebook. Facebook is a free entity, right? It's completely free to consume the content on it. It is very cost effective to advertise on it. Go to an agency. If you don't have, the budgets don't have to be huge. I still think it's cost effective. Most of my clients may be spending 10, 15, 20 bucks a day to get their message out there effectively.
So, but let's clarify. That's just the ad spend. So they still have to pay you to create the content and actually build those custom audiences to hit the right market, because you can just throw, boost an ad on the front end if you don't know what you're doing, and that money just goes right down the drain, correct?
All the time. I mean, there's clients who I work with that have lost thousands and thousands of dollars just trying to boost on the front end of Facebook. I think, though, for somebody who's at a do-it-yourself level, right, your do-it-yourself budget, you can get away with creating a video on your phone and spending a few bucks to see how it goes. It's not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. I think people obsess over creating the right content or spending so much time analyzing what to put out there. My advice to anyone like that is just put it out there and let Facebook, let Instagram, let the market judge it. If you get nothing out of it, okay, retool, try something else. I do that as an agency owner. What I do isn't always working. I wish I was that freaking good. I'm not. You have to test, you have to play, you have to spend the money and see what works. That's it. It's not, I think we overly complicate it, and it's not as complicated as some people make it out to be.
So what do you say to business owners that are afraid to go on camera?
I think that's a tough spot to be in. If you're a business owner, look, I got a background in sales, right? If you're a business owner, you have to sell. If you can't sell yourself, you better find somebody in your environment that can sell themselves. And that person should be out there representing your company in other arenas outside of social media. That's a very tough one.
Yeah, and I think that's a big component that's missing. People forget that. They think that social media or digital marketing, that's a magic wand that you can wave and you're going to get all these customers. You still have to engage the client. You still have to get them to opt in or click to something. Then you probably have to pick up the phone and do a sales pitch or something, right? I mean, it's just one component to the grand scheme of things, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, again, in my third year, I actually had my first client that I completely sold on WhatsApp. So that's not the norm, but it did happen. So I was excited, technology, I'm sure WhatsApp, I see Mark is on here. Mark is probably laughing at me because he probably closes deal all the time that way.
But you want to see what Mark said? Look what Mark said.
Oh, nice, Mark. Don't worry about Ross. I'll see him tomorrow. So I just think, now I lost my train of thought. You made me totally lose my train of thought. What did you ask me? Now I forgot.
We were talking about how it's just a sales is a component to everything else. All right. It's everything. It's conversion. It's the click. You have to sell the click first. Then you have to convert them to do something. You have to make an irresistible offer. And then eventually you're going to have to pick up the phone. You're going to have to get in front of somebody and sell. Right.
Sure. Absolutely.
I think that that's something that people don't talk about. I mean, you can automate a lot of things, but you're still going to have to come into contact with your client at some point.
Yeah. I mean, you have to sell. At the end of the day, I've had a number of clients when I first started that we did a lot of lead generation and we got amazing amount of leads and they never followed up. Well, what do you suppose? Even if you're doing email follow-up, which we were, eventually you have to take the time to take some action. You got to get on the phone with them or have them schedule a call with you, do a Zoom, do something like that. You know what I mean? That you have to take that action. Some of my best clients have existing like call centers to where I feed leads into, and they have call centers that are immediately, unless it's of course after hours, but most of the time we day part and do things where we only run ads from 8 to 5 and the call centers are able to follow up with them immediately. So there is money in the follow-up. Mark Antonio on here knows that there is money in the follow-up, and part of that follow-up is talking to people. So sure.
How do you think people should follow up? What's your best method of following up?
It's phone. It's simple. I mean, it still works very well. You know what? I guess that's probably age dependent. But look, I'm 48, so I'm no youngster in this. Most of my clients tend to be between 10 years on either side of me. It's just the way it works. 35, 38-ish to 58-ish. It's kind of my sweet spot.
Right.
And it's a phone game. It's still much a phone game. It's not a text game at that level. Yes, there are some text messages. Clients text message me now. But, in the beginning, it's either on the phone, or if it's in your local area, it's a local real estate agent or a local insurance agent. It's face to face.
So do you think every business is a good business to be on social media? Do you think it's a right fit for everyone?
Yes. Why wouldn't it be?
No, it's just a question. Because I get that question asked to me saying, hey, that's not going to work for me. That's not what we do. They just, non-believers think that. And, Facebook, they have their rules, their policies. You can't, I don't think you can promote alcohol or tobacco or things like that. But other than that, that's a question that an objection that I get sometimes is that, we've never done it.
You can promote alcohol. You cannot promote CBD, no marijuana, no tobacco.
There you go.
You can do alcohol. Now, on the flip side, like MLM people, a lot of network marketing people say, I can't do it. I can't. You're right. You can't run ads on Facebook as a multi-level marketer. You used to be able to. They don't let you do it anymore. But you can still develop your personal brand. People forget everyone should be developing a personal brand to go along, the story, all those things. That's what social media is for. Look at the bigwigs. Look at Grant Cardone, look at Gary Vee, look at the guys, Ty Lopez, that are doing amazing things. Most of it is personal branding, period. And I think anyone can benefit from building a personal brand on social media. Anyone.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree. So what do you think's the hardest thing for a local business owner to do? I mean, what do you think? What is stopping them? Is it the non-believing part?
Yeah, the hardest thing is to start. And then once you start actually having faith in the process, so many people think you're going to just click into this, put a video out there, and you're going to make thousands and thousands and thousands of sales. It's just not reality. I can give you a great example. E-commerce. E-commerce normally takes 90 to 120 days to fill all the baskets that you need to fill in the background to start really converting. So that's 90 to 120 days. I guarantee you that's faster than open a brick and mortar store. But people just don't trust the process enough and stick to it. It's all about consistency. It's the same thing in anything. It's consistent. It's persistent. It's all the things that apply in the real world, apply in social media.
Do you think that every business should be on every single platform?
No, absolutely.
That's another question.
Absolutely not. I think they should be really good at one or two. We're B2B guys, right? If we're B2B guys, we should be pretty good at Facebook and we should be damn good at LinkedIn, right? I mean, there's two platforms that you can go. Do I need to be on Pinterest? Probably not. I do Instagram just because I think I'm pretty good Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, but I don't do Snapchat. It has no bearing for me. And then now there's other people that are in as agency owners that are very good and do a lot of great things on Snapchat. It's not me. I don't see how it's my market. So I think you got to look at the demographics. And, if you're selling, I have a new client who's in the Medicare space. Like we're not worried about anything but Facebook, right? That's the age appropriate channel to be on. So I think it's very specific to business, but I think people think they have to be on every channel. They got to do YouTube. They got to do this. They got to do that. You don't have to do them all. Get good at one and then maybe move on to a new one.
I totally agree. Hey, Adam. Adam Mint, he was an author that I interviewed. He's just saying hi. Thanks for joining us here. So for those of you who are watching, you guys, like this feed, share it out. And if you have any questions for Ed pertaining to your business, please ask him and I'll ask him for you. I know Ed won't mind, right, Ed? You're not going to charge me this. You're not going to charge me this time, are you?
No, come on. I don't charge you, Bob. I charge Mark, not you. No charge. What else you got?
Where do you see traditional advertising going? I mean, social media is here, right? We kind of touched on it a little bit. And I see a lot of radio stations now becoming experts overnight in social media, right? You see all these media channels that now you go to their Facebook page and they have like 200 followers, but yet they're trying to get the business to convince them to let them run their social media for them. And they can't even get anybody to follow them. And so I see that a lot. I don't know what you see over there. But
it's the new wave. The new wave is every traditional marketer is now a digital marketer, and they have to be. They have to be because they're literally starting to lose their shorts in the traditional space. Businesses are finally starting to understand it. I think it's guys like you and me that are out there talking day after day that are really starting to wear them down and make them understand the power of the platforms that are right in front of them on this damn thing and in front of everybody, right? The radio can't touch this. It can't. I don't think radio's ever going to die. Look, I do podcasting. I think there's a whole benefit to the audio side, but TV, I don't understand. Again, the example I gave before, if you went to a radio station, they created your ad and then they ran it for 90 days. It's the same ad, right? Social media, Google, Facebook, Instagram, any of these channels, I can create an ad today. And if I don't like it, the results in 3 days, I change it. It's so powerful. It's so easy to be able to manipulate and change things that
you can pivot and move. Pivot and move.
I just completely changed my own lead generation process today from a very powerful call that I had. And the reality is I'm able to pivot and move and just move forward with Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn like that. And that's the power of what's in front of everybody. How do you compete with that? I don't know. I will tell you the one space that I actually have a call tomorrow morning that I'm starting to look to from my clients is direct mail.
Really?
I think there's a lot of power in that. I don't get as much junk mail, even close to what I used to get a year ago. So I think there's, Gary Vee always talks about attention. I think there's some cheap attention in direct mail for certain clients.
Yeah, and they call it the lumpy mail, right? Where I actually sent out copies of my book to decision makers, and it's a package. They opened it up because they give me a call, and so yeah, that does work. I think people are starting to get away from it completely. I don't think it's right for everybody, but yeah, I think you're onto something there. Yeah, I think you're onto something there for sure.
For sure.
And Mark just gave you kudos there.
That's nice of Mark. I like to see that. I haven't talked to him in a while.
So what's the one thing that a business can do after they watch this broadcast tomorrow? Let's give value to the people that are watching us. What do you recommend they go out and do tomorrow for their social media, their digital marketing? What can they do at tomorrow that's going to move the needle? And like you said, everything takes time, right? There's no magic wand here, but where can they start seeing results faster?
So every platform, we talked about platforms, pick one. Even if you think you're good at one, reevaluate that, right? Really reevaluate it and look into every platform has its own instructional video on how to use the platform and how to advertise. Like, so Facebook is facebook.com/blueprint. Anyone can go and really learn how to utilize the ads manager. All different tips are inside of that. Instagram has one, Twitter has one. Every platform has it. I would tell anybody listening there, go there. Everything you need is there. When in doubt, Google it. When in real doubt, call Bob in the local area. Call me if you have to. That's what it takes. I mean, it just depends on where you're at in your business cycle.
Yeah. And I do see that. I mean, people don't really seek out the advice of professionals because they don't want to pay. It gets to the bottom line where it's like, well, just tell me what to do, but they really can't apply it because they're too busy working, in their business instead of working on their business. Do you see that too?
I'm guilty. That my big pivot today was getting back involved in my business and not working on it. And then today was a real, and I owe it to somebody I outsourced to who I'm good friends with. And she just kind of smacked me in the head and was like, wait a minute, you're doing all this for your clients. Let's go and do this for your agency. So yeah, I think people get way too tied up in their business. What's crazy for me in my local area, I've given away more than I've ever charged for. And if anybody is in my local area and sees this, they know that's true. I will help anyone. My whole goal is to make sure their digital marketing gets better. Every conversation I have with a client starts with, by the time I leave this meeting, you'll be better at something, social, digital, something will make you better at what you're doing. Whether we do business together or not, that's to be determined. And now
I'm the same for me.
Yeah, I'm a picky stage now, so I'm really picky who I choose to work with. I'd rather give them that value, shake their hand, and move on.
Yeah. The same thing happens. You try to want to give them value to try to help them, and either they're going to do it and take the advice and succeed, or they're not going to do it. And they don't have a choice. If you don't have a budget, you're either going to have to do it yourself, or you're going to have to get somebody like us to do it.
Again, though, I mean, you hear me say I'm giving the keys. I mean, I'm giving anyone who sees this at any point, you have the keys. Just go Google something or find it on YouTube or utilize the blueprints that are available on every platform. And you can really do this. Maybe it's an intern, maybe it's somebody in-house. You can start. If you don't succeed, you need to talk to a professional. Because trust me, when I've had I've had hundreds of conversations around, oh, it doesn't work. No, what you're doing doesn't work. It worked very well. So it's being real and having those real conversations.
That, and you don't have an adequate budget, right?
No.
They're clueless. They think that they can drop a few bucks and then stop, right? They're not thinking it all the way through. You were saying 90 to 120 days just for an e-commerce product, right?
Yeah, for sure. You're looking at investing between, $5,000 and $8,000 a month for 3 or 4 months just to get to where but when it clicks in, is when you're like, oh my God, it's amazing. And I've had a handhold through that because I know the process and I completely 1000% trust the process. But once it goes, it's actually amazing what happens.
Yeah. And, and when they've polled business owners, and 66% of small business owners say that finding customers is their top concern. But boy, they sure don't act like it, do they? Sometimes.
No, anytime. But that's the quote. So I did this on my podcast today. So I'm going to pull up my quote here. I'm not going to take it because it was actually from Mark Cuban. And it was the other day he put it on Instagram. And it says this.
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I think I posted it too.
It's great, though. Unless you have a reliable, duplicatable, scalable, and consistent way to bring potential customers in, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. That is what made me pivot completely to a different direction. I gave up on my local networking group. I kind of just shut it down with my chamber. And now it's all about having, especially the scalable part, right? I can't be scalable if I'm sitting in BNI every week. Or if I'm sitting in chamber, that's not scalability. I've been doing that for a few years. I've done well, but to go from the mid 6 to 7 to 8 figures, I know I need to have a scalable process of bringing people in my door, period.
So if you stop doing network, and not that you're going to totally give it up, so are you talking about actually running more ads and creating more funnels for your business? Is that what you're doing now?
I'm creating a lot more content every week. I'm going to promote the hell out of that content. The advanced things like custom audiences and retargeting and utilizing YouTube and retargeting from there. Yeah, I'm putting together it's kind of a complete funnel without actually creating what we talk about as a funnel. It's utilizing the platforms for my funnel, eventually getting people into booking time with me.
Yeah, so funnel basically is just it's a digital process of getting someone to take action on whatever it is you're selling, getting them to, you give them something of value, you capture their email address or phone number, give them something away, and then you follow up with them via email or phone calls like Ed was talking about. And that's the sales funnel or sales process that any business should follow. And we like to call them marketing systems now, right, Ed?
Yeah, for sure. It really is, though. It's a completely different way of utilizing the digital platforms to get to your end goal, which is the consistent, and then the scalability, like all of it shows itself. It's fun to do and it's fun to implement. And again, I do it for clients. And it took me, who's been doing this for 3 years, to realize, you need to be doing a lot more of this yourself. So that's my pivot today. So I'm excited about that.
Here's a question for you, Ed. I'm sorry, I think I missed it. Where can we find the book?
Uh-oh. Did you cut out? Get that? I see the question. For some reason, there's a little.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'll just tell you, it's facebook.com/blueprint. That will give you all that information that you need to really utilize Facebook effectively as a business.
And so, people spend a lot of money on websites, right? And they hire developers, or they
don't ask me that question.
I'm sorry?
Nothing. Go ahead. Sorry.
So they do all this stuff with they build these websites, or they find a platform where they can build it. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can do on your own, make a pretty looking website, and then nothing happens, right? You see a website just become dormant. And here's a stat here that most people don't know. 96% of all visitors to your website will not call you or click anything on the website. So if you guys are spending money on just building a pretty website and you think something's going to happen, you're really mistaken, unless you're actually driving traffic via Facebook, Instagram, YouTube to that website, and then having a follow-up system in place. Would you like to elaborate on that, Ed?
I will elaborate on that.
Okay.
We're going to try to steer clear of that, but I'll elaborate on it.
Why?
I will tell you, I don't take a client who wants me to drive traffic just to their website, because that is the easiest way to get a very aggravated client who tells you what you do doesn't work, because most websites are not designed to convert. Whatever objective somebody's coming to hire me for, usually it's drive sales, leads, which drive leads, which result in sales. I can't do that through someone's website. You can't do it through a contact me form. You can't do it through 95% of websites that are out there. It takes building a funnel, a page, a landing page that actually is 100% focused on conversion. That's how it works. That's how you do it. Anybody who argues that, I tell you, I have hundreds now of case studies to show you that websites don't convert. The bounce rates are through the roof, and it's the exact opposite when you use a landing page.
Bounce rates 96%. You know, you talk to business owners and you tell them, and they don't get it because they spend a lot of money on websites, but they're not doing anything. We call them brochure websites. Billboard. Informational. They just sit there. But this is what I like to tell people. When was the last time you went and visited somebody's website and you just sat there and read through everything, right? Read through the about us, read the history. Nobody does that. Who has time for that? The average person is going to stay on your website 3 to 5 seconds. Mm-hmm. Is that what you've heard, Ed?
That's what you see. Yeah, I look at Google Analytics all the time. That's what you see.
Yeah, it's about 3 to 5 seconds. If you don't have something that's irresistible, an irresistible offer, something that when they come to their website, and I mean, you give them something of value to capture a phone number, an email, and then put them into an email follow-up sequence. Okay, so basically a follow-up system. Again, I don't want to talk techno babble, but you need a follow-up, right?
Marketing babble. I love it. Yes, you definitely need a follow-up, whether it's a call, an email. But again, websites are your billboard. And the other big issue is loading time, right? It's all about quick. So you're driving somebody from Facebook or Instagram. You actually have them stop in the feed, click on your ad, and now they're going to your website, and it takes more than a second or two to load. They're gone. They're not waiting around to hope that your website loads. When you use landing pages, some of them load inside of a second, and that's what you want. You want that immediate gratification, and then you want really text, video, whatever it may be, designed to convert them, period. Nobody has the time. It's crazy, but it's true.
Nobody has the time, and if they don't have a time as a business owner, they need to hire somebody that's going to focus on it. Amen. Because really, they're just not going to do it. They say they're going to do it, but they get sidetracked, and you know how hard it is to create content. And I know content creators across the country, a really, really good content creator is going to charge you anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 a month. And then that's just to create really good content. Now, we're not telling you to do that. Most businesses, especially in my area, aren't going to spend nearly that amount of money to create any kind of content.
But stop there. So if you're in that realm, if you're spending, let's just say $5,000 a month to create great content, you should be willing and able to put $5,000 in behind promoting it. That's what people miss.
For sure.
Have video guys that do the most amazing videos you've ever seen. Nobody sees them. If you don't promote them, how do they get out?
You have to do the ad spend, right? You have to have the budget.
You have to. I talk about $5,000. You got to hire an agency who can do it, and you got to be willing to spend the money on the platforms. And when you do, it's kind of fun when you see the results come in, because unlike e-commerce, you can get results 45 days into it relatively quickly and relatively good results if you hire an agency who knows what they're doing, for sure.
Yeah, you can move the needle pretty quick, pretty quick. If you've got somebody that's got case studies that's been working with businesses that know that they're going to get a return on whatever amount of money you want to put into it. Because like you said, you have some clients that are spending $20 a day, right?
Yeah.
On ad spend.
Yeah, I have clients that are spending $150 a day too. So it's all over. And I'm only talking about Facebook. You throw in Google, you throw in YouTube, you throw in SEO, you're adding more and more and more spend as you go. So it's just.
What's your take on Google Ads, Google AdWords?
I think in combination for certain businesses, doing both Google, Facebook, Instagram is as powerful as it gets. I know HVAC companies. I'm sure you have HVAC companies down there. Maybe you don't do as much heat as we do.
There's no air conditioning down here.
There's no AC. Okay. Well, here there's lots of heat needs, and there's lots of AC. I think it's like 22 degrees out tonight.
I'm joking. It's hot as hell down here. We need AC here.
So I think a lot of them get caught up in the Google only mindset, because if you don't really think about fixing your AC until it doesn't work.
Right.
And then when you do, you Google it. But if you just take the time to also brand yourself in your local area to people that have homes, when they actually need you, they may think of you top of mind. And it's very hard to have that conversation with a business owner, but it works really well hand in hand with Google.
Right.
So I like Google.
So
they're very expensive, but it's very much, it's business specific. Everybody doesn't need to utilize Google ads.
No. And it's like everything, right? You may not need Facebook. You may not need Instagram. Like you said, get good at one or two of them. But I still am a proponent of some type of social media in tandem with maybe Google AdWords.
Well, I'll give you a key. Here's my key. And this is the it's not really insider, because if anybody listens to Gary Vee, you probably just recently heard this, but it's very, very important. Many people are starting to get away from Facebook. Costs have gone up. There's all sorts of privacy issues. You can now change the ad settings. You can, unfollow certain things if you hide ads. There's all sorts of ways to see less ads. So people are less enthused about Facebook. I'm telling you, like Gary Vee says, right now is the time to go all in. You're past the holidays. There was a, price increase at the end of the year because everybody and their brothers on there trying to get their, Christmas and holiday seasons and all these sales going. Now is the time to go at it hard. So if you want to learn now. It's not as expensive as it was, and a lot less people are doing it. Everybody's doing Instagram. Everybody's Instagram.
Yeah. Everybody's Instagram. So go back to Facebook, right? He was saying that he's running back at Facebook and start putting money into it. And you have to look at it like an investment. I mean, what would you rather spend money on? Something where you can pick a highly targeted audience and drop an ad right in front of them, or put a billboard up and cross your fingers that somebody's going to pass that billboard at the exact time they need your service. And what are the chances they're going to see your phone number or even your address or website address?
They're probably looking at the phone, unfortunately.
Right.
That's the unfortunate reality. I mean, I'm just outside of the city. Like, billboards are all over the city. You drive in a cab or an Uber, no one is looking up at a billboard anymore. They're all on their phones.
Yeah, just pull up at a stoplight and take a look around. Everybody's looking down immediately, right? That's all you have to do.
It's insane. It's an addiction. It's crazy.
It is. It is.
All right, so what else we got?
Well, just real quick, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, they have questions, what's the best way they can get a hold of you, Ed?
I'll give you my email. I always give it out. Is that all right? I like to do
whatever you want. That or your social security number.
No, I won't do that. Nobody wants that anyway.
Okay.
Email is ed@hvsocialmedia.com. Real simple, straightforward. I will answer any email, any question. There are no bad questions.
Great. Any final thoughts for anyone here that was on here that is a local business and they want to increase sales? Any final thoughts?
So the majority of the businesses that I've cut my teeth with, and the majority of the businesses that I've worked with, even still work with, the highest percent of businesses are local. And when you commit to and really go all in on Facebook and stop wasting your time on other avenues, results will come. I've proven it over and over again. Like, Facebook is where it's at for local businesses. There's not a more powerful solution for any of them. I think they just need.
I think that's great advice. And Ed, I want to thank you for being on here on the Q&A show. We'll do this again real soon, and we'll meet up pretty soon as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'm coming to eat down there, and I'm sorry about the technical difficulties I had the other night.
That's okay. We got through it. But thanks, my friend. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, Bob.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, you guys, thank you for tuning in and watching the show. And before you click off, if you could do me that favor, if you could just like, share, post, hashtag live if you're seeing this live. If you see this in replay mode down the road, go ahead and hashtag replay. If you're at this point in the video, still hashtag it. It tells Facebook that it was important. And I appreciate it if you do that for me. And until the next Q&A show, I wish you guys luck in your businesses. And if you need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me at bob@bobtheriot.com. I appreciate it. And you guys have a good evening. Take care.